Okay guys and girls, we're here on Cobble Yos, down Cobble Yos just before the gap. The gap's right here. We're just going to have a throw and look for some edible fish. It's 5 days after the Masters. The day after and the second day after the guys did get some fish. Today it's kicking up some sand in the back. Not ideal. It's about 3 hours after low. So 3 hours, no not even. Still about 3.5, almost 4 hours to high. And we're going to just put a few nice baits, sardine and chocker baits, maybe a bit of mackerel, and see what we can lure in. Alright guys, now obviously I still have some traces. There's kind of just a general scratching trace, which we refer to as a bootstrap. There's not even swivels. It's literally folder a damn trace that they used to refer in the old days, and they refer to it now as a bootstrap. And 2 hooks. I'm fishing number 4.0 mustard tuna circles. About 80% of my rocket surf fishing is fished with mustard tuna circles in various sizes, from a little 7 in the estuaries or a 10 in the estuaries right through to 12s on the shark side. Okay, so we use these fast clips. It's a 30 pound because I'm using this on my 5-ounce rod. It's a Assassin, the Horizon Championship 5. And sorry, I've got a little bit of an annoying little tangle here, which I'm doing myself. So your traces you keep in little Ziploc bags, and then you just hook them on this fast clip, whoop, and it's done. Reel it up. For the sinker, even I didn't even use a sinker clip on this trace. I just used a little loop. So how we fish these traces or baits, just use a little sardine, chocker sardine bait in the bottom, and up top just a little chocker bait, or you can choose. Put mackerel, a little bit of mackerel to it. You can put sardine baits on both. You'll find if you see there's grunter around and they prefer the sardine, then you start fishing sardine on both hooks and get a chance of a double up. But normally what we do is a little bit of chocker here. It gives it that movement in the water, and often you get a little cobby on it. So here you go. I put my right, so a little 5-ounce, and then I just hook onto the loop, tie 2 baits, and how do we put it? Bob's yards. Okay. Now another thing, if you're going to fish 2 little dangles, which is normally braided dangles we do, which I'm not going to do today, and that's if you need to get distance, we get these sinkers here that can hook both. Then you're going to fish a pulley, what I refer to as a pulley trace, a pulley boom, which everything swivels through another swivel, and you can hook both hooks, one on the one side, one on the other side. From there, the 2 hooks, we use it for the other traces as well. I'm not using that trace today. Okay, very simple. I cut myself a little dangle like that. Alright, and you can split it like that. Now I'm cutting a very small bait here. Just show you quickly what I do. On the soft side, I just give it a couple of little taps, and that's also to hold the cotton for me. Stick it on like that. And as always with the smaller edibles, I use the light latex cotton. And as you go to bigger, I use the medium. I hardly ever use the heavy. Okay. Now you can choose how big you want to make this bait. So you can add to it. Ooh, not nice. Little mush. You can add to it more chocker, whatever you want. Just adding a bit of mush. Yeah. Very simple. I use my choker as a dangle, then I hook it through there so it comes through the cotton. My tentacles is at the back of the hook, circle hook. I'll put a little bit of cotton there to secure it onto the hook. A few winds. And that's how I would fish for edibles with a circle loop. I still stay very proud. Okay. And then for the top hook, very simple. There's a few ways of cutting strips. This is almost a reaction type bait. With the movement of the waves, they mistake this for a small fish or something and they grab it. That's why they get a lot of times you get a cobby on it. And that's it. Simple. Put this in the water. Long way to actually get to the lip there. Alright guys, now on my sixth, I'm fishing Daiwa J braid, 20 pound, Daiwa J braid, 15 pound, because it's got a nice diameter, very smooth line. It's going to be very tough for me to change to any other braid after how many years since it's been on the market, because it just amazes me every time. Also on the charter boat, it's all I use. Then both, that's the 5 championship Assassin, and this is the 6 championship Assassin. Then on this tray, it's a semi-slide bite trace. I'm using 90 pound 7x7 Surflon and 0.75 or this 0.7 Maxima with a semi-slide for the sinker. Alright, now this obviously throwing for a flat fish. That's why the bite trace is there. There are a couple of bronzies around these smaller 10-15 kilo jobbies, but I don't want them to bite you off. There's also every now and again some shad in the waves, so it helps with that. I'm going to put a bit of mackerel on, which can lure in a shark. Alright, so on this one we're going to use chocker mackerel, and I'm going to put that, this is a 50 pound clip, this is only a 100 pound leader. I like fishing light here on the beaches, we don't have much rocks. They've got an 80 pound leader on. This is the JDB sand color, it's what I prefer, and then obviously I only use power swivels, and in short that's it. So backing, same, I've got 15 pound 4X backing, also J-braid, the Daiwa J-braid, and on here 20 pound backing. So that's the outfit we're using today. I've got my 8 ounce here, and that was if there was mullet already. The east just started blowing, but I don't see mullet yet, and that was to be able to cast a mullet, but a bigger mullet. The small ones we can throw on the 6 and even on the 5, but yeah, I don't see. Oh, I see something there. Is that a bite? Must have been a bite, the slack. That's the thing, trying to fish with two rods. Now with this we'll just add and build. Okay, so you add just for cutlets and then you shape it with your hand as you go along until you're happy with what you have. Actually, I am happy with it. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a bit of choco around. I'm not going to beat this too much. Just want it enough to get the flavor out, but not too much so that the peckers get it off too easy. And rather add a few small pieces than instead of one big piece that will just pull out. Because now this one, you don't tie it too tight, especially with latex. You just use, you kind of have a soft little bit of pressure on it when you put it on. Otherwise it pulls up over your hook. So we've got a little combo chocker, sardine head and mackerel fillets, mackerel cutlets, seeping out some blood there. It's a clippable bait to get some distance. I'm going to put that in the water. They immediately on this bait now, this mackerel bait. Look like shad. Grunters eating our bites. So if you switch to the right trays now, get them. There's some nice ones around as well. I've seen some really big ones. Hundred, 100. Yeah. weed now on the line. Hey guys, so yesterday we gave it a good try. There was a lot of shad in the water, not the target species, so ended up struggling to get a bait or to keep a bait in the water without it getting chopped. But once we did, we got some sandies. So that was kind of the summary of yesterday. Somehow we used a pink rod and we lured out Daniel out of his cave, and he's joined us. We'll see if that helps at all, but we weren't too successful yesterday. I'm going to put out a shad head on the first cast, see if we can get it over the back there. We've got a southwester blowing, almost a south, it's closer to south, but we'll see what we can do. Give it a good shot.
Good afternoon. It's been a while. Got through December, got through the holidays. Haven't really been fishing much. With the water being so warm, I think probably from the beginning of December, I don't think our water's dropped below 21, somewhere around there. And collecting tropicals for a fish tank with the warm water has kind of taken over from the fishing. But yeah, we've broken away for a late afternoon throw after work. Got some diamonds the other day, I also broke away quickly. And let's see if we can get a good fight in on the rods. Stay tuned. So you can't get any bonito fresher than this. This hasn't even seen the fridge. Came out of the ocean this morning. It's all lovely and full of blood. I've wrapped the guts on there first. I'm in such a hurry, so I'm not even worried about how good it looks.
I present one big fish. Warmer. It's still warm, but it's much cooler than what it was. That's a much nicer one. Oh, very lucky. Okay, day 2, failure. There was just the grunters. The weed killed me, so I had to head out for maybe an half an hour, but this weed just comes and goes over your line the whole time. So we'll give it another shot tomorrow or so. hasty. We're a bit late, about an hour after full. Just gonna have a throw or two and see. Wasn't the right weather, but there's nice color in the water here. This area needs color. If the water is cool enough, we might get a diamond, a cob, blue ray, eagle ray. That's what we're coming for. I just brought my 5, the championship 5, and it's got a 10,000 goes on, and that's what we're gonna quickly have a try. Yeah, it's been a few days, we haven't seen a decent fish. Judging from the water temperature in the bucket, I think we've got about 19 to 20 degree, which is very nice. We've been struggling here, as we explained on the previous days, with the hot water, which is still fairly hot in most areas. So we must get a bite here. Now there's a bit of weed in the water, but we'll see how that affects us. I want to get it right in the water as quick as possible. So I'm just doing a little tentacle there. Another one here. This one, the thinner one, I hook like that. So it wiggles in the opposite direction than this one. Okay. Then I've got a little body which I use as my dangle. I'll show you what I mean with that. And I use one horrible sword. They look horrible, but they've got nice blood in. It was from the Nationals last week. Doing some cutlets. More important getting a bait in the water than worrying about bait presentation. It's not like there's 20 oaks here to compete with. Okay, now I put one on the one side so it sticks nice to the choker, and then once I've secured that to the choker, then I secure the other piece on the opposite side to both the choker and that piece of sardine. It's frozen solid still, and I'll use the heat of my hand just to mold it. Because it's latex cotton, it would pull it and hold it into the shape I molded with my hand. Now that defrosts it a bit, give that smell to come out. The water, that should happen quite quickly. But that's the general idea of the bait I'm using. You'll notice I've got 2 tentacles on both sides of the hook, and this is how I hook it on. Take that side, take it into the bait, and like that. Now, if you want to be safe, take a bit of cotton. These are 4-0 tuna circle, mustard tuna circles. And what you can do is that tentacle, you can just secure on the eye of the hook there to hold it there. There we go. Tie it off. Let's go get a bite. Guys, also a problem we've been having for almost a week now is all the weed, and there's a lot you can see on the side, but also in the water here up until the lip, and I'm not sure what it looks like there where I cast it, but I'll find out. I've got a nylon grab and they're quick to pick up the weed. change it to a normal bottle sink if I have to, and so we can get the bite. Nice size. Oy, oy, oy. Okay. Eel tails around. Not a bad sign. A bit eel-like. Oh, hy was 'n kop. Feels like an edible. See what that is. Into the weed. Oh, broke off in the weed. Swam into the weed and broke off. Ah! That was a good edible. Tore himself off in the weed. I saw him going straight for that patch of weed. Swam into it, and as he swam into it, it shook it off. That was a very good edible. It's horrible what weed can actually do in losing your fish. Now, there was just too much weight for me to turn him at that stage, and as soon as they get your trace or your sinker into another and a bunch of grass, they just shake it off. Those head shakes felt typical cop. Could have been I wouldn't say it's a bad one. I think that felt like a cop from when he took it, the way he ate it, and then the way he shook his head from the beginning. Alright guys, so we got here at about 11, had a few throws, some promising bites and stuff, and which seemed to have been that cob I lost in the front there, and then after that it went fairly quiet, a lot of pickers, and then it went quiet, and now the rain, which pushed us off. If the rain clears up, there's another option we're going to try this afternoon. This water looks very nice. I would love to fish this into the dark, or even just closer to a high. But northeaster today, northeaster tomorrow, turning on Saturday morning southwest. Really great time for us. So you're probably watching this a bit later than what I'm speaking now, about 4 hours later. So catch us next week. We're going to put in some good sessions now with the weather turning right. We've waited for cooler water for a long time, and it's done exactly that. There's some nice color in the water, and then with the east today and tomorrow, it brings in nice nutrient and rich water, which brings in the food, which brings in the fish, and hopefully by Saturday we would have had some decent catches. We've got a few options we want to try, about 4 spots we're contemplating to do, and catch us next week so you'll see which one we caught. Which one we caught, at which spot we caught. Remember to subscribe and like this video and share it, and thank you guys for supporting our channel.